But you must know you cannot change what's over, but only where you go. One way leads to diamonds, one way leads to gold, another leads you only to everything you're told. In your heart you wonder which of these is true. The road that leads to nowhere, the road that leads to you. Will you find the answer in all you say and do? Will you find the answer in you? Each heart is a pilgrim, each one wants to know the reason why the winds die and where the stories go. Pilgrim, in your journey, you may travel far. Oh, pilgrim, it's a long way to find out who you are. Pilgrim, it's a long way to find out who you are. Pilgrim, it's a long way to find out who you are.
Me in singing I Am Home. I am home, I am home. I have traveled far along this road, now I'm home. Shalom, shalom. In the love of God, I am home. I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road, and now I'm home. Shalom, shalom. In the love of God, I am home.
Oh, good morning and welcome home to Unity. Spirituality with open hearts and open minds. We're a congregation that practices spirituality rather than religion. We believe in the divine spark in each and every person and in all of creation, and that there are as many paths to the divine as there are souls seeking that presence. So welcome this beautiful day, and we'll begin as we always do with the lighting of the Christ candle, symbolic of that divine spark in everyone. And those of you at home on Zoom, we invite you to light a candle as well as you join us in spirit. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. So welcome. I invite you now to stand as we sing our opening song, Spirit Song. And as you stand, just take a moment and look around the room at all these wonderful kindred souls that are here this morning with you. And we welcome all of you on Zoom as well.
Let the Spirit of God enfold you, and your heart will fill with love. Let it lift you up and satisfy your soul. Let Spirit have those things that hurt you. Give your tears and all your pain, and embrace the love that heals and makes you whole. Spirit, oh Spirit, come and fill our hearts. Spirit, oh Spirit, come and fill our hearts. Let the Spirit of God enfold you, and your heart will fill with love. Let it lift you up and satisfy your soul. Let Spirit have those things that hurt you. Give your tears and all your pain, and embrace the love that heals and makes you whole. Spirit, oh Spirit, come and fill our hearts. Spirit, oh Spirit, come and fill our hearts.
Please be seated.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Hey, there we go. Now we're talking. Hey, Claire wrote the lyrics to that.
I like added some and took some away and used some and rearranged them, and so it's not actually by me, but it's with a little input from me and a little scrambling.
They were
I
beautiful, regardless of how they
unitized
got there.
Thank you.
And that's really what we're talking about today. The theme for the day is spirit, pilgrimage, and faith. And so the word I picked out of those three is pilgrimage. And it's about the journey. And there are pilgrimages where we physically go someplace. The Camino de Santiago is one pilgrimage kind of thing. Pam's led pilgrimage before. I've done a vision quest, which is a form of pilgrimage. You don't have, that's all the physical stuff. The grand pilgrimage is the one through our minds. That's the more difficult of the bunch. We do it in physical form, which helps us understand and get to the place in our minds where we need to be. And we can do that other ways without ever having to leave onto a physical pilgrimage, although it's easier. A labyrinth is a pilgrimage. Walking out in the woods is a pilgrimage. As long as we're barefoot on holy ground, we create pilgrimage. Pilgrimage, there's like, depends on who you read and how you read the books and all of that. There's either 3 steps, 5 steps, 7 steps, or 6 steps. I went with the 6-stepper. The first is this calling. Now, it may be you're just inquisitive. What is this pilgrimage thing? Why would I want to walk the Camino? You know, sounds like a cool thing to do. Lots of people are doing it. Or why would I want to go on a vision quest? Maybe that's a cool thing to do because other people are doing it. Could be that just you're inquisitive. Could be that there's something in there that's going, hey, you know, something's not right. And perhaps there's another way to get things right. Maybe I don't really have a really grasp of who I am. Maybe there's a way to let that out. Maybe there's a calling for a closer walk with God, so to speak. Some kind of a spiritual kind of thing. Regardless of it, I think it is God or Spirit or the divine pressing on you to be a greater expression of itself through you. I think that's where that comes from, that inner yearning for something, whatever that something may be. And then there's this thing that they call the separation. That's where you leave all the familiar things behind. Pilgrimage works when we let go of what keeps us in our little comfortable box. If we always stay in the box, it's probably not going to be much of a pilgrimage. And it's all about letting go of everything that's familiar so you can expand to what's not familiar, and perhaps part of that unfamiliarity is that place where Spirit can step in and fill the void. And then there's the journey, whatever that journey may take a look at. The journey generally has discomfort. And it's built in the physical journey that we would go through. It's built into it. It's part of the process. Vision quest is the fasting that goes on throughout the quest. The physical thing of walking 150 miles or 300 kilometers, those are the physical things. And pretty soon your body, you finally give up on trying to make your body comfortable. It's not going to happen. You just kind of let that part go. But a journey through your mind is no different. You know, when you first started meditation, and you can't stop that monkey mind from just keep going. You think, I'm a failure at meditation. No, you can't fail at meditation. That I know. But you can have just these, go like, I'm sitting here for a half hour and all I get is these thoughts, right? But eventually that discomfort goes away. It's part of the background noise, but it's not in the foreground. And then comes the contemplation part. So I'm going through all this discomfort, and I go like, what's it all about, Alfie? Why am I doing this? What is this about, right? This is where you kind of, it's kind of that doubt part, and also the part about, am I supposed to, is something supposed to happen? Is there going to be a bolt of lightning coming down, or a big reader board, or something? What is it? And so there's a chance of kind of that self-talk for yourself. The labyrinth is a really good place for that. So if you take the pilgrimage of the labyrinth, it's pretty soon as you get through the labyrinth, as you go further and further down the path, your mind kind of quiets down, and then you can kind of get this feeling of each step has a different, I don't know, cadence to it, rhythm to it, feeling to it. But anyway, it's as you get closer to knowing self, the big S self, there is a time of contemplation in our little else self mind where we start really thinking about those things. And then there's the encounter. Now, the encounter is sometimes a spiritual aha. Sometimes it's just, I never thought of it that way. It can be any range of that. But there's something that will occur, and you may not even pick up on it on this fifth step, but it's there. And eventually you'll see it. And for those of you going on a pilgrimage, mark my words and come back and tell me if you didn't. All right? How's that? And then finally it's the completion and the return. And that's the most interesting part, and I'll give you my own life experience when I did a vision quest. So I was in charge of a big organization and had lots of staff and department heads and all this kind of stuff. And I came back from this vision quest, having had an altered state of consciousness as I was out in the desert for a period of time. And as I got there for my first staff meeting, right after I got back to find out, we were gone for about 2 weeks or something. By the time I got back, I needed to know what was happening. And as I sat there, my little consciousness was sitting up in the corner of the room. So I'm in my chair, and I'm watching this whole affair, including myself, from the corner of my room, as being a witness of all this stuff. And it was it happened twice in my life. This is one of them. And I had changed. I could feel the change. The energy around all of the problems that everybody was talking about was a lot different. My engagement in terms of those energies was different. It was mellower. It was like, okay, let's look at the bigger scheme. How are we doing on the big picture? Every day's got problems, but how are we doing on the big picture? Are we moving ourselves forward? Are we moving the organization forward? Are we helping the people we're supposed to help? So those questions were the ones that came out of my mouth versus, well, how are we going to deal with this, right? So anyway, the return, you are different. And it's hard to explain, but those who have been on pilgrimages know it. They've already experienced it. That video we saw earlier was Enya's video. She ends with this. Now, we're all pilgrims. So this whole life experience is a pilgrimage. We have this whole experience to get to know and connect with the oneness of what and who we are. And some of us get there faster than others, but we all get there. For the pilgrim, it's a long way to find out who you are. And as we are all pilgrims, we all have the opportunity to do that here, while we're physically in this plane. And we certainly will find out when we transition to the next. At least that's my belief. And with that, the daily word for the day is care. I am here and I care. Sometimes my heart goes out to a friend or even a stranger who is struggling. Other times my heart breaks when I learn of another's devastating news. In those moments, I feel the urge to help. I pray, affirming healing, peace, and comfort. I may offer financial support or material goods. I might call on a phone or visit a person. Even so, I may feel my efforts are not enough, especially when the needs are so great. But the impulse to care is in many people, the activity of God streaming through so many hearts and so many hands. As I join my efforts with theirs, I trust we can lift up even the most dire of circumstances. I am a caring presence, ready to help, serve, and love. And from 1 Thessalonians, so deeply do we care for you that we are determined to share with you not only the gospel of God, but also of ourselves, because you have become very dear to us. I am here and I care. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Oh, we are here and we all care. Whether we're sitting in the sanctuary or we're at home, we're uniting as one in spirit with our Anamkara, our beloved soul friends. So I invite you now to just settle into a time of prayer and meditation where we each center into that sacred place of the Most High at the core of our being, but doing so surrounded by people who love and care for us and uplift our prayers with us. Sanctuary.
Love, prepare me to be a a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you. Love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you.
And so take a moment and settle into this inner sanctuary. Let Spirit gift you with a place, real or imagined, that opens its doors and welcomes you in to a place of peace and grace, compassion and love. All around you, you feel the presence of the divine, above, below, on either side, behind and before, and within. Recognize that you truly are an eternal spiritual being, having an earthly experience for a divine reason. Let each of those lines help to remind you who you are, why you are here, and that higher perspective that gives meaning to everything. You are an eternal spiritual being, having an earthly experience for a divine reason. Feel your life as it is unfolded as a pilgrimage, a journey of spirit, of increasing awareness of the presence of the divine in all of its forms. Part of your pilgrimage was set with great intention and devotion. Part of it was met with surprise and unexpected blessings. Think about all the places you've lived and been, the people you've shared your life with and crossed paths with, the work you've done, the things you do that bring you joy. Allow all of those things in this moment to be part of what has brought you to this holy moment. And we gather together each week to renew, restore, and rededicate ourselves to this pilgrimage of life, to this presence of the divine, and as an inspiration for you, exactly as you are now and exactly as your life is now, receive this blessing from Jan Richardson's Circle of Grace. Beloved is where we begin. If you would enter into the wilderness, do not begin without a blessing. Do not leave without hearing who you are. Beloved, named by the one who has traveled this path before you. Do not go without letting it echo in your ears. And if you find it hard to let it into your heart, do not despair. That is what this journey is for. I cannot promise this blessing will free you from danger, from fear, from hunger or thirst, from the scorching of the sun or the fall of the night. But I can tell you that on this path there will be help. I can tell you that on this way there will be rest. I can tell you that you will know the strange graces that come to our aid only on a road such as this, that fly to meet us bearing comfort and strength, and that come alongside us for no other cause than to lean themselves toward our ear, and with their curious insistence, whisper our name, beloved, beloved, beloved. From Matthew 3:17, and a voice from heaven said, "This is my child, the beloved, with whom I am well pleased." You too are the child of the divine, the beloved, in whom Spirit is well pleased. On this journey, having been blessed, now open in willingness to be a channel and a presence for yourself and others and the world in the realm of prayer and spirit. Open in this moment to release your prayers into the very arms of the divine, to that presence that calls us all beloved. Silently or aloud, however you are so guided, pour forth your prayers now and feel all of us uplifting them with you and then opening our arms and our hearts to watch for the unfolding responses that are already on their way. Let us pray. Unity of Lord Down And we add to these prayers all of those entrusted to the High Watch prayer chaplains. And this day we especially hold near and dear the people of Morocco who've undergone a devastating earthquake. May Spirit guide those who are seeking those survivors, and may they bring them forth from the rubble with grace and tenderness. May they feel the loving support of us and the world. And may they know that they walk not alone. So gather now your life up and prepare to move forward into the journey of your soul, the pilgrimage of your life, as you receive the blessing of Anamkara. Feel this and know this, for this lies at the very heart of pilgrimage and soul journey. May you be blessed with good friends. May you learn to be a good friend to yourself. May you be able to journey to that place in your soul where there is great love, warmth, feeling, and forgiveness. May this change you. May it transfigure that which is negative, distant, or cold in you. May you be brought into the real passion, kinship, and affinity of belonging. May you treasure your friends. May you be good to them, and may you be there for them. May they bring you all the blessings, challenges, truth, and light that you need for your journey. May you never be isolated. May you always be in the gentle nest of belonging with your Anam Cara. And so feel your soul friends all around. Feel this gentle nest of belonging that we call unity. And as we sing Sanctuary once again, perceive the beauty of the sanctuary not only within you, but the sanctuary that is our world and your life on this soul journey of discovery. Sanctuary.
Love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I am a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I am a living sanctuary for you.
And so it is. Om, amen, and blessed be. Namaste. I behold the divine in each of you on the amazing journeys of your souls. And now the gift of special music, Oceans.
You call me out upon the waters, the great unknown, where feet may fail, and there I find you in the mystery, in oceans deep. My faith will stand, and I will call upon your name, and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours, you are mine. And grace abounds in deepest waters. Your sovereign hand will be my guide. when oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours. You are mine. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in your presence. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in your presence. I will call upon your name. Keep my eyes above the waves. My soul will rest in your embrace. I am yours, and you are mine.
Thank you, Clara and Steve. It was beautiful. Oh, I can barely talk. How about you all? Wow, beautiful. And that's what pilgrimage is. David talked about the different steps of it. That was the energy of what it feels like. And how wonderful it is when we can look at life as pilgrimage and not just the mundane existence of who's going to get the bread at the grocery store. Those things we have to do, but to have that perspective that our souls are here for a true spiritual reason, and that we're here to grow and to learn and to receive the gifts of others and to share the gifts that we have back with the world. And it's that flow of exchange, the people that you unexpectedly meet on the path of your life, the people that are called together to be in groups like this circle of Anamkara. Of all of the places we could have been, our soul's journeys brought us to the place where our paths crossed, and we get to do life together. I love looking at life as pilgrimage and also as an initiatory process of increasing our understanding of the presence of the divine and of what a spiritual life really means. I did a series years ago in Denton on about the initiatory process, which is very much like the pilgrimage process and like the hero's journey. It's a process of unfoldment. It's growing in consciousness, in possibilities and ideas, but then having to have the experiences where you live them so it really groks and you integrate it into who you are. Because we can all study thousands of metaphysical books, but if it only goes to here, it's not doing anything. It makes life interesting. I'm a reader, have been my whole life. But till you drop it into your heart, that place of caring, and you drop it into your soul as to how do you view life. And it used to be in the ancient times, and I've done a lot of study of this, there were different initiatory processes. In ancient Egypt, it's famous for the initiatory processes. The mystery schools, the life of Jesus is an initiatory process. Our lives are initiatory processes. And I did this series, and Greg Braden came out with a new book that was, I think, The Great Awakening. And in it, he said something that I was like, yes, I totally believe this, which he said in the ancient times, we did our initiatory processes in temples separate from life. We were in monasteries or in ancient temples, and we did them there. But we've evolved to the place now where our lives are our initiatory chambers. Our very lives. And pilgrimage, to recognize that pilgrimage can be going to a sacred place, because sacred places do hold the energy of people who've journeyed there. You can feel it. I'll never forget the time I was at Chartres Cathedral, and I saw somebody do this, and I did it. I took my shoes off, and I walked the labyrinth barefoot. And I could literally feel in that cold stone the warmth of the feet that had walked that path for centuries. So we have sacred places that we can go. And isn't it fun to do that? It's great to go apart from your life into a temple, an initiatory chamber, kind of away from the day-to-day things. But if we don't integrate it into our lives, Cynthia Bourgeois talks about doing the contemplative life, and people go on her retreats, which are wonderful. I've been on one. And she said the thing that she consistently hears is, oh, I was in such wonderful sacred space, contemplative space, and then I got home and my kids had art projects and my husband was in a bad mood and the dog was sick and everything fell apart, and so it didn't make any difference at all. And she said, no, if you're going back into everyday life expecting it to be a quiet, holy spot, that's not true for almost anybody. Even Mother Teresa, that would not have been true for. Because it's about taking those insights and then figuring out how do you really live them. She said, if you can just take 10 minutes of contemplation before anybody else in the house wakes up, it will help your day. And so to journey on a pilgrimage, to go to a sacred place is wonderful. But it doesn't mean anything, again, unless you're integrating it into the pilgrimage that is your regular daily life. How you interact, how you view things. I've always said it's not so much what happens to us as how we perceive it. Philip Cousteau in The Art of Pilgrimage says the mythic image mythologist Joseph Campbell writes of the idea of sacred place where the walls and laws of the temporal world may dissolve to reveal a wonder apparently as old as the human race. Belief is such a place. Belief, right with you now. It's a holy temple. Belief is a sacred mesa or an archive of sacred knowledge. It inspires hope in the pilgrim's soul, and that encounter transfigures it. Michael Baget says, a pilgrim is not seeking to discover something new, but is seeking to remember what the soul has always known. We in Unity speak about how our higher selves knows the truth of all being. And Claire Namad says, the aim of making a pilgrimage was always the offering of an act of devotion for its own sake, but also that the pilgrim might receive a healing, a blessing, an initiation, or a revealed enlightenment. It's about the consciousness with which you're encountering the world. And I had all of my notes. I've got a whole bunch of notes going through the hero and heroine's journey, but we're not going to do that this morning because I turned on the morning show. CBS morning show has wonderful things. And this morning, a man named Arthur Brooks was interviewed, and he just did a book with Oprah Winfrey on the art and science of finding happiness. The name of the book is Build the Life You Want. Consciously, as an eternal spiritual being, have an earthly experience, but with a connection to that divine reason. And I just thought it was wonderful. If you can, go watch the interview. But the highlights of it was when they researched, they said, what is necessary for happiness? He said, it is definitely not money, power, beauty, or fame. None of those things. That's not the source of happiness. And he said, social media is something that is a lab for earthly goals that will make you miserable. Because people on social media frequently are putting this idealized version of who they are. They'll even do backdrops that say they're in Athens and they're sitting in Sacramento. It's that illusion. And it's what the face, the mask, rather than the real person. And so we find, years ago I read an article that one of the things that's most crippling for so many is that we're comparing our inner selves that are vulnerable and tender with the outer appearance of somebody's stunning success. I went to dinner one night with some of my dear women friends in Texas, and we started talking, and I looked at my friend Kay and I said, Kay, you're just amazing the way you've always got it together. And she looked at me and she said, what? And she said, Pam, you're the one that's always got it together. And I said, I was sobbing my eyes out last night, playing sad Celine Dion songs so I could have a good cry. And we realized that we wanted to take our friendship to a deeper level. And all of us, we went around the circle, and we ended up not admiring each other less, but more. Because we got to where we were saying, not that, oh, I'm successful and I have my life together. It's, oh, I'm struggling with this, and I just learned that. And I don't know what's going on with this. To be honest, to be authentic, to me lies at the very heart and soul of true spirituality. They went on and they said, okay, so what does happiness look like? The number one killer of happiness is envy, which is one of the things that I was just talking about that comes through social media. And he says, pursue enjoyment. And he said, not pleasure. He said, pursuing pleasure tends to lead you to addictions because it's strictly physical. He said, but he and Oprah said, seek enjoyment. And by enjoyment, he means people and memories. I know when my mother died, one of the things that I realized is there wasn't as much of an estate as I thought perhaps there would be. I did not care one iota because we had taken those resources and done trips together, the memories of which I still carry with me. Nothing can ever take that away. That was true enjoyment. And we can make memories on trips. We can make memories right here in our everyday lives. And so seek enjoyment. Don't let your life just become, I've got to do this and I got to do that, your checklist of things to do. Always leave some time in your day for something that you enjoy. Number 2, seek satisfaction. And they said satisfaction is actually the joy that comes after struggle. Oh, I did it. I wanted to get to where I could walk for 20 minutes, and I walked for 20 minutes. I did it. I finished my degree. I did it. It can be big things, it can be little things. But gift yourself a recognition when you accomplish something. When you're traveling in the desert and you're journeying across the sands, if there's an oasis, you don't skip it, ever. You don't know where the next one is. So you're coming across the desert, and there's the oasis with the sweet water and the palm trees and other interesting people camping there for the night. You can make memories, connect with people, and take the time to go, oh, look how far I've come. Now, which direction am I heading out in next? Our society doesn't gift us with that respite that is very much part of the pilgrimage process. The interiorization, the recognition of what we've learned and what we've given and what we've received. So satisfaction is recognizing how far you've come. And the third piece after enjoyment and satisfaction is meaning. It's when we find the meaning in things that we truly, truly can connect to life as a soul journey, as a pilgrim, as an initiatory process. It's the fact that you can look at things and realize there is a synchronicity. And the more you open, the more synchronicities you notice. The world will support you when you move with intention towards something that is a higher view for yourself and for others. It's about your soul purpose. What is it that you uniquely can give to the world that nobody else has quite the same experiences or abilities to give? And figuring out for yourself why things happen sometimes. Sometimes it's a mystery, and it takes years to understand. I know things happened to me in my past. I'm like, why in the world did that happen at the time? And now I can look back from this perspective and go, oh my gosh, if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have gone to Unity Dallas. I wouldn't have gone to Unity Village. I never would have become a Unity minister. Those little turns and choices and finding meaning. I was laid off from my corporate job, and it turned out that was right when the next CEP class was starting at Unity Village, and in 2 weeks I packed up my entire life, put it in storage at my parents' house, and drove by myself to Kansas City, to Unity Village, and spent a month there studying and just loved it. My severance package gave me the financial resources to do that. What was a stunning thing of getting laid off was the doorway to the whole next unfolding. At that moment, I remember people coming up in tears going, Pam, we can't believe you've been laid off. You're not going to be here anymore. And I remember looking at them and saying, I think I asked for this. Because one of my dearest friends had been diagnosed with brain cancer and given literally weeks to live. And in being present with her, I found myself saying a prayer that whatever is mine to do, I'm absolutely willing. I'm willing. 3 days later, I got laid off. And I'm like, what in the world did I say I was willing to do? But it was part of that soul journey. It's part of the pilgrimage. The hero's journey has all kinds of twists and turns. It's not just one challenge and then you're done. It's multiple challenges. It's finding allies. It's confronting your deepest fears. It's confronting the fact that you can't do things all by yourself. You need the presence of the divine. You need other people to go through life with, to find that enjoyment with. And so I loved that interview this morning. And Oprah said something that I totally agree with and say frequently. You can't control the outer circumstances, but you can control how you feel about it. You can control how you feel about it, how you respond to it. And the more you realize life is initiation and pilgrimage, the more you can get into a place where rather than just reacting, you can respond. You can truly respond from a level of soul. I wrote this to define what pilgrimage is when I led one a number of years ago, and I still like it. Pilgrimage is to faithfully seek the divine with a new willingness, to lovingly encounter the wonder of the numinous mysteries, and to experience it all in a sacred world full of holy blessings, waiting to be discovered, embraced, and embodied. Oprah, when she goes to Africa and works with the girls at her school there, always concludes the first series with a quote from Invictus, that famous poem. She reads them the poem, and the last 2 lines are the thing to remember about initiation and pilgrimage and soul journey. It ends with the famous lines that I know you're all heard. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Enjoy the journey. Find the sacred, whether it's something you understand or an absolute mystery. Move with intention and devotion and dedication, and at the same time be open to unexpected graces and blessings that will meet you on the way, particularly when life doesn't unfold the way you think it should. Let us pray. Sweet, sweet Spirit, oh, we open in willingness to recognize that our lives are truly sacred journeys. And we are so blessed from before our first breath, all through our lives and beyond that last breath. And how blessed we are to be present in this world. May we remember to find enjoyment in people and memories each day. May we remember to take the time to feel satisfaction and joy as we move through the challenges of life. And may we see meaning from this higher perspective that reminds us we truly are eternal spiritual beings having an earthly experience for a divine reason. we now all willingly and faithfully seek the divine, waiting for us to discover it, to embrace it, and to embody it. And so it is. Om, amen, and blessed be. So I've got some notes that I'll use another time. I'm one step ahead on the path. Now I invite you to stand, and we're going to sing Spirit Alive in Us, because truly it is. And how blessed we are that our journeys brought us to this place, this day, side by side.
Spirit, you're alive in us. You're alive in us right here. Spirit, you're the light in us, shining bright through us right here. Spirit, you're the love in us, reaching out with every touch. Spirit, you're the voice in us, rising up beyond a hush. Yeah, we feel it, reveal it. Yeah, we see it, believe it. It's Spirit. I'm going to slow this down a little bit because I feel like you're having trouble spitting these words out. We'll slow it down. So, second verse. Spirit, you're the breath in us, breathing all of us right here. Spirit, you're the grace in us, calming every fear right here. Spirit, you're the peace in us, spreading out across the world. Spirit, you're the power in us, flying like a flag unfurled. Yeah, we feel it, reveal it. Yeah, we see it, believe it. It's Spirit. Let's do that first verse again. Spirit, you're alive in us. You're alive in us right here. Spirit, you're the light in us, shining bright through us right here. Spirit, you're the love in us, reaching out with every touch. Spirit, you're the voice in us, rising up beyond a hush. Yeah, we feel it, reveal it. Yeah, we see it, believe it. It's Spirit. We see it, believe it. It's Spirit.
Oh, woo! Please be seated.
Yeah, that was kind of a tongue twister. As I'm lost in the words. Where are we? Here we are. And this is the time in our service where we receive the offering. So I invite you to take out your offering and we'll bless it as we do here each week. And it's all about Spirit revealing. Think of it that way as we bless it. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful indeed.
On their way, already on their way. Give thanks for unknown blessings, already on their way. Already on their way, already on their way. Give thanks for unknown blessings, already on their way.
Yes, thank you, Ben. Yeah. Sweet, sweet Spirit and Ben. Thank you for the blessings of these gifts. They represent the energy of transformation. They represent the Spirit within each one of us, every one of us in this room, in our community, and across the planet. They represent the pilgrimage that we are all on, that journey of the soul to find our oneness with our Creator, be part of that creation. The spirit of doing that consciously in physical form. We don't have to wait for the end game, because we are the end game in this moment. So we take these gifts and we send them forward with that intention that each person may feel their opportunity, responsibility, and ability to express the Spirit that lives within them to each of us as we go around our circle of friends and around our community and around our planet. Each of us has that same spark. When we feel that and know that and share that, we shall create heaven on earth. Well, let's do that in our lifetime. So it is. Amen. A good idea? Go for it. Wow, we've got an amazing array of announcements today. I think I'm going to take them in order of time. So the 14th, which is Thursday, is the Unity World Day of Prayer. And was set up by your class, I think, right? It was a time, Unity was founded on prayer and the power of affirmative prayer. And so I think their class, I don't know how you came up with it, but my guess is they're saying, hey, if we're founded on prayer, we ought to have a prayer day. And let's make it sometime in September. And we did. Or you did.
Yes, we did, Mike. Was an elective class in ministerial school. James Dillett Freeman was in the tower reading poems, and people had gathered from all over the world. It was so cool.
So that tradition had been resurrected probably 10 years ago, and now it's a mainstay of what goes on in Unity Village. In fact, if you go up on, just put in unity.com or something like that, you'll find it. And there is a 24-hour vigil that starts on Wednesday night and goes through Thursday night. And there's speakers and all through the day, and you can just pop in on this thing. So it's open to anybody, just do it. So you'll find a little Unity World Day of Prayer button if you do that. Anyway, so our church is going to honor that and be present with that on Thursday between 10 and 2. We're going to set an altar up here in the front. We'll have some quiet background music. It's a time for you to come in, and if there's something on your heart you want to affirm, this is the place to do it. And the theme this year is the heart of healing. So think of it as personal healing, relationships, physical healing, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to heal the planet. Because there is a power in prayer that we don't always understand or know, but it's there. And affirmative prayer particularly. One of the things as a prayer chaplain is that we get to hold the high watch during the service and then also be available for personal prayer, as well as we respond to any prayer requests that are in the prayer box, come across the internet, or phoned in. And here's a response. I'll just read part of it. I'd like to express my appreciation to the High Watch prayer chaplains. My sincere appreciation for their dedication and prayers sent to my sister on my behalf. Or sent on my sister's behalf, excuse me. Blah, 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 blah. I believe the earnest prayers from the High Watch prayer chaplains aided her body, her mind, and her spirit to achieve and her spirit to achieve its goals. Thank you, prayer chaplains, for all that you truly do. And let me get this other thing. Here it is. And here's why. And this is from the guiding prayer for the service going to be here on Thursday. Healing is happening in every moment of a spiritual awareness. Remember it again. Healing is happening in every moment of spiritual awareness, knowing that wholeness and well-being are innate. I celebrate my capacity to thrive in every circumstance. With a grateful heart, I heal. And so we as chaplains, as we as people, have the opportunity in prayer to heal somebody that we care about, some situation that's occurring, or the planet that we live on. We just need to be consciously, and we do that through Spirit. So, 10 to 2 on Thursday, be here, and there'll be prayer cards, there'll be a box to put them in, as well as some readings from Unity headquarters about prayer. So, there you go. And then Sunday, coming up next Sunday, the 20th, 4 days later, we're going to celebrate. Oh, you're right. I'm going to be gone on the 20th. That's why I got 20th in my mind. I'm trying to wrap all this into my 20th. Thank you. The 17th, right, next Sunday. Right, like I said. Right? Okay. It's right here on the sheet, I can tell you. Pam's 20th anniversary. Anyway, we're going to have a big celebration and a potluck following service. Now, on the potluck side, I personally am a potluck by definition. Just whatever you bring shows up, and that's what we have. There are others, however, that see potluck as being a full-rounded meal, not just desserts. And so, I know, it's just, there's all of us on this planet, right? So there's a sign-up sheet out on the fellowship table where all the desserts and goodies are, and the eggs are. So we're trying to figure out what we're going to have, and so if you would be so kind as to sign up what you want to bring so that we can see if they're all salads or all desserts or all whatevers. We need to know that. So following service, there's also a box back there on that little table behind Glenn, and that is for cards and well wishes and gratuities for Pam on her 20 years of service and for their journey off to the other side of the Atlantic and their journey back from this side of the Atlantic. So feel free to bring something, put it in the box any point in time, and they'll be happy to take that with them on their trip. And if we fill the box up, they just have to pay for extra baggage. That's all I got to say. And then finally, on the 24th, and that's the following Sunday, Dr. Saul Shea will be here, not only giving the service, but also giving some workshops and some personal healing sessions with him. There is a sign-up sheet I saw. I don't know if it's all completely filled up or not, but Dr. Shea needs to know kind of how to schedule his time. So if you're interested in some personal healing from this individual, sign up on that sheet and we'll get that arranged for you. And then, if that isn't all enough, on the 30th, end of the month, there is a concert here from 3:30 to 5:30 with Richard Russell and Friends of Unity. And it is partly as a benefit, but partly it is just a great group of individuals to provide music here in the sanctuary. So there is I think there's a concert fee. I think it's like $20 or something like that, $20 or $22 at the door. But put that on your calendar on the 30th. I think it's a Saturday. So, all right. Whew. I got through it, and we got the dates all figured out, right? Don't show up on the 20th for Pam's thing, because she's going to be gone. Why don't we form a circle at the sanctuary?
We'll be in the air on the 20th.
You will be in the air. I will be on the road.
In the car.
In Ruby, yeah, Ruby slippers.
Ruby slippers. Oh, cool.
We may have to go slide in here.
There we go.
I'm having a good night. Good thing I got long arms, huh? Yeah.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, united all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is our moment now. With every breath I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. And we know the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Blessings on your soul journey pilgrimage. Woohoo! Go forth blessed and blessing. I love that color on you. Great color.